Mercedes could have problems before the season even starts, as there were some issues with the W14 during its first test run at Silverstone. So, what could it mean for Mercedes' chances for the new season? Want to know what this huge problem is with Mercedes? Stick around to find out. Mercedes showed off the updated W14 car on Wednesday morning during a digital launch that was streamed online. Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, team principal Toto Wolff, and new reserve driver Mick Schumacher were all there. Mercedes' new car will use the same striking black paint job that they used through the 2020 and 2021 season to send a message against racism. Last year, the team went back to its traditional silver color, but now it's also back to black as part of a significant project to lose weight. Mercedes will not totally forsake the zero-pod aerodynamic strategy from last season, despite the team's difficulties from the previous year. The core idea behind this forward-thinking mentality will remain the same, but the team will move its radiators inside to reduce the total area of exposed metal. Several team members are putting in additional shifts to be ready for the presentation on Wednesday, and everyone is working very hard to avoid any last-minute setbacks. These issues originated from the fact that the manufacturing facility ran behind schedule on the fabrication of some components because of changes made to the W14 project. Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff has said, "Our hopes and expectations are always to be capable of fighting for a world championship. However, our competitors were very strong last year, and we are playing catch-up. Racing at the front requires resilience, teamwork, and determination. We face up to every challenge. We put the team first, and we will leave no stone unturned in the chase for every millisecond. This year, we are going all in to get back in front." Mercedes will try to get back on track in 2023 after a disappointing year in 2022, when it lost the Constructors' Championship for the first time in 8 years. The team had trouble getting used to the new technical rules, and both Hamilton and Russell had to deal with a problem called porpoising for the first part of the season. Even though an update at the Spanish Grand Prix helped fix the problem, Mercedes kept finding deeper problems with the W13 car that technical director Mike Elliott said were baked in to its design. He said that the important thing about the car was that it still had the zero-pod idea, saying, "It's all going to be in the details, and it's a lot of the bits that you can't see, particularly under the floor. There's going to be a lot of development. I think some of the key bits for us, we've completely changed front and rear suspension, trying to help with the weight of the car, but also trying to help with some of the handling." He also said that Mercedes bodies are still changing in a lot of important ways. You'll notice that the bodywork has changed quite a bit, but the DNA is still the same. We've looked at pretty much everything and asked, how can we make what we've done better? We looked at the problems we had last year and asked, how can we make sure we don't have those problems this year as much as possible? So the details matter. Mike Elliott also said that Mercedes thought there was something wrong with the way the team was going at times last season, and that it took a lot of courage for them to go ahead and make the current design. But Mercedes is now the only one with its side pod design, since most of its competitors have copied Red Bull's idea. It has come to light that Mercedes is also getting ready to try something different. Now, before we go to the problems in Mercedes' W14 test run at Silverstone, Wolff said at the launch that the team didn't think the side pods were important to the car's performance, but that changes were coming. As he said, "Throughout last season, we have analyzed it back and forth, whether it was right or not. Obviously, you can see the side pods are very different to any other car, but we believe that this is not a performance relative part. Obviously, there's no such thing as a holy cow here, and we are looking at everything. On the side pods, this is the first iteration, and when we're going through the first few races, that's going to change a little bit. The planned changes to the side pods suggest that the Mercedes concept does not offer the same benefits as other designs." Wolff, however, was still glad that his team was willing to try new things as they look to have a successful season. Teams usually bring aggressive upgrades to the test and the first race, but Wolff said that this year the team's launch specification was very close to how it will be for the first race of the season in Bahrain. But after the launch, the team took the car for a test run at Silverstone. Some sources indicate that the W14 shakedown was a failure. There was a failure in ignition and propulsion systems. Mercedes was prepared for their worries, however. It was decided to ship the propulsion system to Brixworth for maintenance. The group was worried that the issues would arise again. A faulty installation of the drive system is also blamed as a contributing factor. That being said, it wasn't an intractable issue. So there are encouraging signs for all the Mercedes fans out there. The problem is somehow solvable. It happened due to an error in mounting the engine on the chassis. The problem happened only at the shakedown. It is an expected problem to occur. Lewis Hamilton was very neutral when asked about this. As he said, "We won't truly know if we have fixed the problems till we fully get in the car, but we believe we have hit the nail on the head in some of those areas, and some we'll still have to work on." George Russell, on the other hand, was more confident in saying that he enjoyed driving the new W14 and avoided commenting on the issue. "It was an uneventful day, but it's hard to say anything concrete. Last year we had no idea after the shakedown. The weather was too bad then, but even today's results should be taken with caution. The real test will be in Bahrain. Whatever we want to achieve, it's a bit pointless to count on days like today." For all of you worried Mercedes fans, what does this mean in the grand scheme of things for Mercedes' title chances? Mercedes had won the Constructors' Championship for 8 years straight prior to last year, but the team struggled to retain their championship due to issues with the W13 suspension. Only Mercedes knows what went wrong with its 2022 car, whether it was the zero-pod idea, running a firmer floor than others, or positioning the car too near to the ground. As technical director Mike Elliott put it, the automobile was an onion with its many issues, and George Russell called it a confidence-sapping diva. At the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, the British driver took the checkered flag, marking the team's first and only victory of the season. His teammate Lewis Hamilton, a veteran of 16 seasons on the grid, finished the season winless for the first time in his career. The team made some late-season improvements, but ultimately ended third in the Constructors' Championship, over 200 points behind Red Bull. They also closed the season behind on the track, with Hamilton placing 8th in the final qualifying session of the year in Abu Dhabi. The team are in significantly better shape this year, compared to the beginning of 2022, even though the gaps are comparable to those seen at the conclusion of the previous year. If they continue to improve at the same clip that they did last year, they may even be able to challenge for the championship. Yet, they shouldn't expect the competition to sit on their hands, especially not Red Bull and Ferrari, their two primary competitors. The Silver Arrows with their new black livery have a lot of potential, but it remains to be seen how they perform at the beginning of the season, and whether or not they are competitive right away. Nonetheless, Mercedes is a championship caliber team. Their 2014 to 2021 lineup is among the sport's most dominant. They are currently the hunters instead of being the hunted, and they can intend to change that again in 2023. Do you think Mercedes can bounce back this season? Can this problem with the W14 be solved? Please let us know in the comments below.